Yesterday, today, and forever.
And he remains yesterday, today, and forever.
所以耶穌是永遠未改變。
He will never change.
所以應該是 Jesus is。
That's why we should have made it Jesus is.
今日 Jesus was。
But how come we made it into Jesus
最
was?
偉大嘅上帝嘅道者肉身查罪人，
Because we know that the Son of God became flesh, he became man.
佢哋對照最有33年嘅人，
And for 33 years, he was human here on earth.
這是33年嘅歷史，
And we are talking about the 33 years of history.
這是歷史嘅記載嘅代志，
These are things that were recorded in history.
已經過去嘅代志，所以 Jesus
And
was。
these were the things that happened in the past. That's why we called it Jesus was.
咱知道耶穌哋對住這33年中間創嘅代志，互人明白伊，互人學習伊路，互人真正好嘅模樣。
That's why we would like to learn from the examples set by Jesus for the 33 years he was here on earth.
今日呢對目住 Jesus was a shepherd。
Today we will focus on Jesus was a shepherd.
頂一擺 last Sunday 是 Jesus was a carpenter。
Last week we talked about Jesus being a
今
carpenter.
日 Jesus was a carpenter。
Why did we say Jesus was a
因
carpenter?
為 Jesus I identify with us，互人聯動，
Because that was his occupation and he wanted to identify with us.
互人知影什麼叫做 human。
That's why he wanted us to know that he experienced what it is to
今
be
日是
human.
Jesus was a shepherd。
Today we would like to talk about Jesus was a shepherd.
咱需要了解咱嘅新嘅耶穌是倒一位。
We would like to know more the Jesus whom we believe in.
我講咱教會已經將新嘅 vision 頒予咱嘅教會。
We have already entrusted to the church the new vision.
每一個 member of CBCP 嘅人都需要知影，甚至係要 memorize 咱嘅 vision。
It is encouraged that each and every member of the CBCP should know and memorize the vision of the church.
所以當人問你，你教會嘅 vision 係什麼？你有可能知啊
So when people ask you what is the vision of your church, you can let them know.
？Okay, let's try to memorize. Okay，
Let's try to memorize this.
都幾好讀喎。
Have any of you reviewed this?
Are you ready? You are not ready.
You're not ready.
Okay. One more chance.
I'll give you one more chance.
Read together. 1, 2, 3. To see generation of Christ-like disciples transforming lives and family, impacting community and nation for the glory of God. Once again, 1, 2, 3. To see generation of Christ-like disciples transforming lives and families, impacting communities and nations for the glory of God. Ready?
Are you
1,
ready?
2,
Let's
3.
read more.
To
See
see
generations of Christ-like disciples transforming lives and families, impacting communities and nations for the glory of God.
So next Sunday, you need how to memorize the vision of the
So I hope
church.
that next Sunday you'll be able to memorize this already.
咱嚟達到這個 vision，咱需要這個 mission。
For us to achieve that vision, we have to have a mission.
咱嘅 vision 真簡單
Our mission is very simple.
：No God, not people,
Make
make
disciples.
disciples. No
No
God,
God,
not
love
people, make disciples.
disciples.
你若冇 No God，嗱無念不上帝，你冇可能讓人做門徒。
If you don't know God, then how can you lead people into discipleship?
你若冇 love people，你無法將你嘅生命 invest 你嘅 life，你嘅時間喺別人嘅生命嘅中
And
間
if。you don't love people, how can you invest your life in the life of other
So
people?
love God, love God, not
love
people,
people,
make
make disciples.
disciples. Is our mission.
That is our mission.
所以咱需要了解咱嘅上帝是倒一位。
That's why we need to know the God whom we believe in.
Jesus was a shepherd.
Jesus was a
這是咱
shepherd.
今日嘅 focus。
This is our focus for this
咱嚟
morning.
話 John 10:11，
Let's look at John 10:11.
耶穌講：我是好牧人，好嘅牧人為要幫殺是咩啊？
Jesus said, I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd lays down his life for the sheep.
嚟到14節，耶穌講一擺：
And in verse 14, Jesus reiterated,
我是好牧人，我念不掛妖，我妖也念不掛。
I am the good shepherd. I know my sheep, and my sheep knows me.
耶穌兩擺宣布 I am a good shepherd。
So Jesus proclaimed 2 times that he is the good
你
shepherd.
講好嘅牧人有兩個真正重要條件
And there are 2 very important criteria to be a good shepherd.
：love his sheep, know his sheep。
To love his sheep and to know his sheep.
咱需要明白就是听咱，伊明白咱。
Because He knows us and He loves us.
Of course，咱需要明白咱的牧者是倒一位。
At the same time, we need to know whom we believe in. We need to know our shepherd.
當我思想一本聖經嘅時陣，
As I was meditating on the Bible,
我感覺無比咧聖經比詩篇23篇更加能清楚知啊，什麼叫做 Good Shepherd。
and there are no passage in the Bible that can explain most clearly what it means to be a shepherd than Psalm 23.
三章嘅篇是 David 即個牧者家己寫嘅話。
This is the psalm made by the shepherd himself.
David is a shepherd，
David was a shepherd.
但是講我有另外一個 shepherd， 耶和華是我嘅牧者。
But here David proclaimed that he had another shepherd. He had a master shepherd who is the Lord.
所以 Psalm 23 verse 1 The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not be in want。 這是規個詩篇第一重要嘅一節嘅話。
This is probably the most important verse in the whole passage.
因為第2到第6節主要是 explain 節嘅意思啦，啲啊。
Because from verses 2 to verse 6, it explains what it means to, it explains verse 1 rather.
什麼是耶和華是我嘅牧者，我無高啲欠缺嘅意思是什麼？
Then it went on to explain why the Lord is his shepherd and how come he will never be in want.
咱大家睇知啊 ，want and need 是完全無相嘅代誌。
Of course, we all know that want and need are two different things.
咱嘅愛嘅物件 ，we want 嘅物件，行行超過咱實在需要嘅物件。
Many times what we want far exceeds what we truly need.
其實咱實在需要唔是也罪，
In reality, the things that we need are not a lot.
但是咱嘅 want 真渣罪。
But there are a lot of things that we want.
Eat all you can 一個真渣好嘅 example。
A very good example is going to buffet, those eat all you can buffet.
而馬上我同你講，喺知道我已經 303 eat all you can。
There's a new buffet open, it's called 303. You can eat all you can.
300例菜，
There are 300 dishes.
哇！你聽到心裏已經歡喜啊不得了。
After hearing that there are 300 dishes for you to choose, you are so happy.
因為你喺試看嘛，you want
And you want to try it out.
300例菜。
There are 300 different kind of dishes.
我同你講啊，
I tell you this,
你食咗30例已經感謝主啦。
if you can finish 30 dishes, you have to thank the Lord.
咱冇一個人有當食300例菜。
I'm sure none of us here can eat 300 dishes in one
嗱，
sitting.
我冇反對 eat all you can，OK？
I am not against eat all you can.
不過你嚟看到我哋101食 eat all you can，it's okay，it's normal，no problem。
So in the future, if you see me in 101 eating a buffet, it's okay, it's normal.
但是我哋知影，咱嘅需要，咱嘅 need 無也罪，咱嘅 want 真罪。
But I want to point out that we want a lot, but we don't need a lot.
人無容易滿足。
And it's very difficult to satisfy human beings.
But the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not be in want.
The Lord is our shepherd, and we will never be in want.
為什麼呢？
Why?
Verse 2 and verse 6, David 我哋就係四個真重嘅 reasons。
And from verses 2 to verse 6, David let us know the reasons
當耶
why.
和華實在是你牧者嘅時陣
When the Lord is truly your shepherd,
，you shall not be in want.
you shall not be in want.
Why?
Why?
Number one,
Number one,
He provides.
because He provides.
第二節 verse
It's
2。
verse 2.
由我倒跌刺透嘅對頂，在我哋安卻嘅嘴邊。
He makes me lie down in green pastures. He lead me beside quiet waters.
要什麼時陣倒跌刺透嘅對頂？
When do sheep lie on green pasture?
要什麼時陣倒跌戰渣安靜嘅嘴邊？
And when do the sheep rest beside quiet
答案
waters?
只有一個。
It's only one answer.
當一隻要食飽啉飽嘅時陣，
It's when the sheep is fed and he's filled.
當佢非常滿足嘅時陣，
When the sheep is completely
你就
satisfied,
倒跌這個所在休息。
it'll lie down there and rest.
其實道理真簡單。
The message is very simple.
當有一日你食咗戰渣飽嘅時陣，
One day after eating and having your fill,
你愛做什麼？
what do you want to do?
那是我，
If it were up to me,
我只愛創這樣代
it's
志，
only one thing I want to do.
倒跌我嘅腸嘅裡面，
I would like to lie down on my bed
嗦我嘅腹肚，
and rub my belly
真鬆。
because I'm so satisfied.
雖然有人講唔通嗦腹肚，嗦腹肚係大腹肚，
But there are other people saying don't rub your belly because it'll increase the size of your
唔
belly.
差別嚟啦，真
I don't
鬆。
care because it
這
feels
叫
good
做滿足，叫做 satisfies。
because I am satisfied.
其實咱愛滿足實在真容易。
For us to be satisfied, it's really very simple.
當耶和華是你嘅牧者，你佔用你都要滿足。
When the Lord is your shepherd, it's easy for you to be
為什麼
satisfied.
呢？
Why?
因為保羅提醒咱一項大事。
Because Paul reminded us of one thing.
咱無多什麼嚟到這個世界，無通多什麼離開這個世界，若有衣，若有食，就應該知足咯。
Paul said, For we brought nothing into the world, and we can take nothing out of it. But if we have food and clothings, we will be content with that.
We brought nothing, we take nothing. 咱若有食，若有衫，content with it.
We brought nothing, and we will not be able to take nothing. That's why if we have food and clothings, then we should be
耶和
satisfied.
華是咱嘅牧者，
The Lord is our
佢
shepherd,
provide 咱實在嘅需要，
and He provides what we truly need.
咱應該得到真正嘅滿足
And
咯。
we should be satisfied and content with it.
真最嚟者，我不追一個見證，
Many years ago, I've made this testimony.
咁知有人聽到，咁知你先嚟你唔捌聽到。
Probably for those who have been here for a long time, you know this, and for those newcomers, then listen carefully.
我是出自一個比較傷人嘅家庭嘅
I
嚟，
was born in a poor family,
所以食物總是無夠。
so our food supplies were limited.
喺我嘅印象嘅裏面，
In my recollection,
喺 Chinese New Year 迄一日，全家有通三甲食一隻貴 white chicken。
it's only during Chinese New Year that the whole family can gather together and share one whole chicken.
但是因為不能人三甲食，
But because there are 8 of us, we're just sharing one
所
whole
以
chicken.
就三甲半、三甲半、三甲半。
So we have to portion it so that it'll be enough for 8 people.
所以我雖然常常有一個夢想，有一個 wish，
So when I was quite young, I had this wish.
我講將來我的確有法家己一個人食一隻貴，一隻家己食。
And my wish was in the future, I'll be able to consume one whole chicken by
我
myself.
感覺我嗱食了一隻貴，我就滿足咯。
And I felt that if I can just achieve that dream of consuming one whole chicken by myself, I'll be satisfied.
1988
1988,
my dream come true。
my dream came true.
但我嚟菲律賓嘅時陣，
When I came to the Philippines,
我記 Alex Stockett 菲律
I
賓
went to Aristocrat.
明白記吧 ？Alex Stockett，聽講是 the most famous chicken in
It's
Philippines。
the most famous chicken place in the Philippines.
我叫了一隻貴，
And I ordered one whole chicken.
我家己將貴隻貴食了了。
And I consumed and finished off the whole chicken.
迄時我感覺實在滿足咯。
I felt so satisfied.
但是經過 after 6 months以後，
After 6 months,
我就感覺冇什麼特別。
and I felt it was no longer special.
忽然間發現另外一項大事，
I suddenly noticed something.
講到菲律賓有一個餐館叫做 Kamayan。
And there was a restaurant here in the Philippines called Kamayan.
Kamayan 裏面有一個例菜叫做燒地亞麥水隻嘅，叫做 sucking pig。
And there was a dish there in Kamayan called the suckling pig or a small lechon.
但是哇，真好食。
It tasted very good.
但是較想是真多人三甲食，但是食無夠。
Many times it's a whole group of people consuming one small suckling pig. That's why it was never enough for everybody.
總有一日，我家己一個人叫一隻。
And it was my dream that one day, by myself, I'll be able to order one
差
and
不
consume
多
one.
經過兩三年以後，
After several years,
我有兩個朋友對香港嚟，
I have friends that came to visit from Hong
我
Kong,
跳工才去卡馬人，
and I brought them to Kamayan,
我跳工叫一隻。
and I ordered one whole suckling pig.
當然一個食唔但三人幾隻食了了。
Of course, by myself, I cannot finish the whole thing. That's why the 3 of us consumed the
呢
whole
個上
suckling
實
pig.
際有滿足咯。
And I was really
但
satisfied.
係經過一段時間以後，
After a period of time,
都感覺冇什麼特別。
I felt it was no longer
有
special.
一擺我去參加一個人嘅廣州嘅 opening，
One day, I joined the opening of a factory of
我發
somebody.
現菲律賓有另外一種嘅食物，
And I discovered there was another dish in the Philippines.
幾隻牛嘅燒，
It's called the roasted calf or the lechon baka.
我心內有燒這項大事。
And there was a thought in my mind,
有一日我叫一隻。
one day I'm going to order one whole.
我唔記得是我40歲還是49歲是呢個時陣，
And I can't remember if it was my 40th birthday or my 45th birthday.
Man Fellowship 嘅 chairman 嚟跟我講話，
And the men's fellowship chairman came to me.
你講牧師啊，
I said, Pastor,
我訂了一隻牛嚟三甲食，
and ordered one whole calf for you.
結果迄日實在食幾隻牛。
so that they we consume that whole order.
當然唔是個人食啦，淨係食唔了啦，
Of
殺個
course,
食。
by myself, I cannot
忽然
finish
間，我
everything.
這個是真心嘅感動。
And I suddenly had this thought in my mind.
The Lord is my shepherd,
The
I
Lord is-
shall not be in want.
The Lord is my shepherd, and I shall not be in want.
我所愛嘅，
The things that I want,
以後我啲就真真係滿足。
and that can satisfy me.
現在我都唔敢少食什麼咯。
I dare not think about things to eat anymore.
嗰個什麼能食啊？
What's left for me to eat?
個嘢食了咯，地嘢食了咯，股嘢食了，我食什麼啊？
I've consumed chicken, I've consumed pig, and I've consumed a cow. What's left for me to eat?
你俾食人喎。
I cannot eat human.
The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not be in want.
And I discovered that the Lord is my shepherd, and I shall not be in
基督
want.
徒啊，基督徒啊，
My dear Christians,
咱應該是世界真容易滿足嘅人。
of all the people in the world, we as Christians should be the one that is easily satisfied.
為什麼咱真在迷惘？
But how come we complain so much?
為什麼咱真在掛意？
That's why do we worry so
為
much?
什麼咱是唔係真在未滿足？
How come we are not easily
是唔是
satisfied?
咱未記 The Lord is my shepherd，
Is it that we forgot that the Lord is our shepherd?
還是 The Lord is not your shepherd？
Or maybe the Lord is not your
求
shepherd.
上帝幫助咱。
The Lord help us.
耶和華是咱嘅牧者，
The Lord is our shepherd.
咱是伊嘅羊，
We are his sheep.
咱喺呢度真真係滿足。
And that we can find comfort
We
and be
do
satisfied.
nothing,
We don't have to do anything.
just do one thing.
Just do one thing.
Follow him.
Follow him.
Follow the shepherd,
Follow the shepherd.
and you will be satisfied.
And you will be satisfied.
請你及你別他人講，follow him, follow
Tell
him,
the person beside you,
follow
just follow him.
and you'll be satisfied.
And you'll be
你
satisfied.
行家嘅路，你永遠冇知道真正
If
係
you go your
satisfied.
own way, you will never be satisfied.
The Lord is my shepherd.
The Lord is my shepherd.
Follow him.
Follow him.
又或者咧，牧者面係 provides, he
He
restores,
not only provides, but he restores.
he restores 咱嘅 spirit。
He restores our spirit.
你講第三節。
Look at verse 3.
以後我靈魂蘇醒，為家嘅名，因錯過行義路。
He restores my soul. He guides me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake.
就係牧者唔係供給咱嘅需要，
This shepherd not only provides us of what we need,
而幫助咱屬靈生命嘅需要。
but he also looks after our spiritual
學
needs.
咱嚟 restore our soul，咱靈魂黐起嚟。
So our soul will be awakened. It will be restored.
你哋小看未？
Think about this.
當咱嘅靈魂未黐以前，
Before
咱嘅 situation，咱嘅 stage，什麼關係狀態喺裏面？
Before we have our soul awakened, what kind of state are we in?
啊，你講困起，
They probably say you are asleep,
所以黐起嚟。
and now you're awakened.
No。
No, that's not the
聖
case.
經唔是講咱困起，
The Bible did not tell us that we are asleep,
聖經上講咱死去。
but the Bible tells us that we are dead.
咱嘅靈魂已經死去。
Our soul is dead.
當耶和華及亞當夏娃講，即陣分別神嘅樹嘅果子未追食，
When the Lord told Adam and Eve not to eat of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil,
你食起一日的確死。
the day you consume the fruit of that tree, you will surely die.
當亞當夏娃食了嘅時陣，
But Adam and Eve, when they ate of it,
伊親像無死，伊
it's like they did not die.
繼續活落去。
They continue to live on.
But in fact 已經死咯，
But in fact, they are truly
伊
dead.
嘅靈魂已經死咯，
Their soul died.
伊嘅靈魂及上帝已經分開咯。
Their soul has lost its fellowship with the Lord.
所以當耶和華嚟到伊甸肯嘅時候，伊就驚，伊就唔誇上帝搣啲這個所在。
That's why when God came to the Garden of Eden, they were afraid of God and they had to hide themselves.
上帝用電土創造萬物，
God used clay or the soil to create all things.
只有人有上帝靈喺裏面。
But out of all the living things that God created, only human beings has His Spirit.
人犯罪嘅時陣，
When we sin,
伊嘅靈隨及上帝分開咯，
we lost this contact with God. Our soul lost its
伊嘅
contact with
身
God.
軀開始慢慢死咯。
In our hearts, we slowly die.
所以咱得緊面對死亡嘅代志。
That's why we cannot avoid death.
But the Lord is my shepherd。耶和華是我嘅牧者嘅
The
時陣，
Lord is our shepherd.
耶和華靈魂黐起嚟。
That our spirit, our soul will be restored
好
and
人
will be awakened.
看到過去冇看到嘅代志，
We can see things that we have not seen before in the
好
past.
人明白什麼是人生真正嘅意義，什麼真正嘅價值。
For us to truly know the meaning of life, the value of life.
你就喺連生活晒戰爭度嘅門對需要解答。
There are three questions that are very vital for us that we need to answer.
又話是呢個牧者，
The Lord is our shepherd.
你有通解答啲晒門對，
And with the Lord being your shepherd, you can answer these three
你有
questions.
100% 嘅答案。
You have 100% answer to these
冷
questions.
對到落嚟，
Where did man came from?
冷見到這個所在，
Where's man headed?
冷啲世界獲得活到成咩？
What is man's purpose for living on
你
earth?
嗱冇有答啲晒門
If you
對
don't know how to answer these three questions,
，I'm doubt 又話是唔是呢個牧者
then I doubt if the Lord is truly your shepherd.
？I'm doubt
I will doubt
你靈魂刺激嚟未？
if your soul has truly been awakened.
你 born again 還是未？
Are you born again or
我
not?
這個 born again 嘅人，的確係有 answer 啲晒戰爭同
If you are
嘅。
truly born again, then you will know the answer to these three vital questions.
冷對到落嚟，
Where did man come
這
from?
是 original of life，生命源頭嘅門對。
We talk about the origin of life.
冷對到落嚟，
Where did man come from?
冷就對單細胞慢慢進化嚟啊嘛。
Did we come from a single cell that evolved?
冷嘅祖宗是老狗嘛，
Or did we evolve from our ancestors, the monkeys?
當靈魂未知嘅時陣，
Before our soul awakened,
你唔知到這個答案是100% 嘅答案。
we don't know which answer is the 100% correct answer.
當上帝 restore my soul 嘅時陣
When，the Lord restored our
當我
soul,
back to the Bible 嘅時
we
陣，
went back to the
我
Bible.
隨活這個答案。
We immediately have an answer.
Genesis 1:27。
In Genesis
講
1:27,
上帝即係家嘅形象做人，即係形象做人做女。
so God created mankind in His own image. In the image of God, He created them, male and female. He created them.
人是照上帝形象所創造，
We are created in the image of God.
人是對上帝嚟，
We came from God.
人有上帝 image，
We have this image of God.
所以人應該親像上帝。
That's why we should be like God.
現在親像人，冇親像上帝，甚至冇親像人，
A lot of people today are not like God and they're not like human
因為人離開咗上帝。
because they have departed from the Lord.
每一擺當我睇佢 newspaper 嘅時陣，
Whenever I looked at a newspaper
我就覺得戰爭可怕嘅罪惡嘅時陣，
and I see all these terrible crimes and
我
sin
常常問我
being
大隻嘅
done,
門隊，
I always have this question.
即係咁是冷衝嘅大字。
Are these things sane human being or ordinary human being will be doing?
我聽到戰最冇好嘅消息嘅時陣，我講即係咁是冷應嘅衝嘅大字。
When I look at all these bad news, I question myself. I ask myself this question. Are these truly committed by man?
當人離開上帝嘅時陣，
When we depart from God,
人嗱唔嗱冇親像上帝，
if we are not like God,
連人都冇親像。
then we are not like human also.
But He restore my soul。
But He restores our
我
soul.
重新親像這個人，親像上帝所創造嘅人。
That I'll be like a man created by God.
人見到這個所在，
Where's man headed?
這是 destination of life 嘅門對，
That is the destination of our life.
這是人生路尾一站嘅光景。
This is the final place where we'll be going.
落在人在啊，見到我嚟離開這個世界，我見到這個所在。
How many of us can answer with confidence where we will be going or where we'll be headed after we depart from this world?
請你唔通講 maybe 檢猜，
Don't answer with maybe.
你若唔知啊，去得落
If you don't know where you're going,
，I'm doubt。
then I doubt.
又話是唔是呢個牧者
If the Lord is truly your shepherd,
？I'm doubt。
I'll doubt.
你嘅靈魂刺激嚟未
If your soul has truly been restored,
？I'm doubt。
and I will
Are
doubt
you really born again？
if you are really born
這
again.
個信靠上帝人，
A person who truly trusts the Lord,
真早就已經有答案。
they will know the answer to this question.
傳道書第12章第7節。
In Ecclesiastes 12, verse
電
7,
土歸地電土，靈魂歸何屬靈魂嘅上帝手裏面。
and the dust returns to the ground it came from, and the spirit returns to God who gave it.
人真特別，
Human beings are very
人
special.
除了有這個 physical body，
Aside from this physical body,
人有這個 spirit 喺
we
裏
have
面
the。spirit in us.
動物只有這個 physical body，
Animals only have physical
你
body.
若離開世界就是 dust return to the dust。
If they die, then they return to dust. That's it.
但是人唔是安尼
But human beings are not like that.
，dust return to the dust，
Our body will return to dust,
but the spirit return to God。
and our spirit will return to
所以
God.
我知啊，我見到這個所
So
在。
we know where we're
但是
headed.
靈魂是唔會滅亡嘅，呢是 spirit。
Spirit cannot be killed. That's why, because
所
it's
以
spirit.
唔是永遠嘅活，就是永遠嘅死。
It's either they're eternally alive in heaven or they're eternally dead in hell.
嗱，唔是去天堂，就是去對極，
So it's either you go to heaven or you go to hell.
冇第三個所在去。
There's no third place for you to go to.
請問我知啊， 我係 destination of life 去到一個所在。
So I'm asking you once more, do you know where you're headed?
我唔知
I don't know about you.
，until 耶和華是我嘅牧者
And I didn't know the answer until the Lord became my
，He
shepherd.
restore my soul。
He restores my soul.
我知啊，我去到一個所在。
I know where I'm going.
第三問題，
A third question,
人哋對照要創啥？
what is man's purpose for living on earth?
人對上帝來，人到去上帝這個所在。
We came from God and we're returning to God.
喺中間這條嘅所有時間嘅中間，
But in the period in between,
就是咱嘅 life。
that is called our
你
life.
知道你生命嘅中間，
In this period that we call our
我
life,
要創啥？
what are we doing?
咱嘅人生嘅目的，咱嘅人生嘅意義就到這個所在。
What is the meaning of our life? What is the purpose of our life?
為咗貪錢，
Is it to earn money?
為咗出名，
Is it to become famous?
為咗享受，
Is it for
為
pleasure?
咗滿足咱嘅情慾。
Is it to fulfill the lust of our flesh?
I don't know。
No.
但你是你問你小看咪？
Think about this.
是你所憐不嘅人嘅中間，
Among the people that you know,
一款追求金錢、追求名聲、追求權柄嘅人，離開世界，咁咪自細得到滿足。
those who seek money, who seek fame, and who seek power, are they truly satisfied when they die?
到一個人冇 regret 佢家己嘅 life。
How many of them do not have any single regret of the way they live their
我
life?
guarantee，
I
你
guarantee
若
you,
追求一款嘅物件，
for those who ran after these
當你
things,
離開世界喺一日
the day you are about to depart from this world,
，you will be regret。
you'll be filled with
因
regret.
為這個唔是上帝創造咱人生嘅目的。
Because that's not the purpose of living that the Lord has designed for you.
你講按你目數，咱人生目的是什麼
Then you ask me, Pastor, what is my life's purpose?
？Westminster 這個叫做信仰嘅啟示中間，你講上帝創造咱嘅目的是什麼 ？What's the purpose of God created man？
In the Declaration of Westminster, there's in it a phrase that tells us why God
man.
created man.
為咗榮耀上帝，享受上帝。
It's for us to glorify God and to enjoy God.
Glorify God and enjoy God 是上帝創造咱哋對做唯一獨一嘅目的，a purpose of life。
That is the purpose of our life, to glorify God and to enjoy God.
Yes，咱有當享受咱嘅上帝。
Of course, we can enjoy our
Yeah，
God.
you can eat all you can, no problem。
There's no problem with eating all you can.
你可以享受你嘅人生
You can enjoy your life.
，but don't forget glorify Him。
But don't forget, in the enjoyment of your life, to glorify God.
How to glorify Him？
How do we glorify Him?
有人問耶穌，第一道嘅誡命是什麼？
Somebody asked Jesus, what is the greatest command?
真心、真心、真意、真力，聽你嘅上帝，
To love the Lord your God with all your mind, all your heart, all your soul, and all your strength.
聽人親像家己。
And to love man like you love yourself.
Love God and love people 是咱上帝有咱一個真重要嘅使命。
A great command given to us by God is to love God and to love man.
當你有聽神、聽人嘅時陣
If you know how to love God and to love man,
，you know how to glorify Him and enjoy with Him。
then you will learn how to glorify Him and enjoy God.
耶和華是咱嘅牧者，
The Lord is our shepherd,
要咱嘅靈魂受升起來，
and He restores our
好
soul.
咱行到這條義路嘅中間，
And He led us into the path, He leads us into the path of
咱創
righteousness.
啥
For what?
？We do nothing,
We do nothing.
just follow Him。
We just need to
唔
follow
當
Him.
離開這條路，
We shall not depart from this
唔
path.
當離開這條義路。
Let's not depart from this path of righteousness.
先知以賽亞講，咱親像要家己行家己嘅路，
Because Prophet Isaiah said that we are like sheep who have went astray.
咱離開呢條義路，
We have gone astray and we have gone our own way.
都嚟啦，都嚟啦
Let's come back.
，follow Him。
Let's follow Him.
follow 咱嘅牧者行呢條應該行嘅路。
Let's follow our shepherd into the path that He is leading us.
耶和華是咱嘅牧者，
The Lord is our shepherd.
佢 provide 咱嘅需要，
He provides for our
佢
needs.
restore 咱嘅
He
spirit，
restores our
佢
soul.
protect us，
And He will protect
佢
us.
照顧咱、保護咱。
He will protect and look after us.
第四九第個節，
Let's look at verses 4
我
and
雖
5.
然定嘅什麼要谷，也無都得在下，因為你及我同在，你將你嘅乖狼安慰我。
Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me.
你我敵你嘅頭前，你我擺設筵席，你用油膏了我嘅頭，和我後背滿熱。
You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, and my cup overflows.
你我敵你嘅頭前，
So in the presence of my enemies,
油嘅敵你是什麼？
who are the enemies of the sheep?
就是老虎，就是獅子，就是虎，就是狼。
These are the lions, tigers, the wolves.
妖無法家己保護家己，
A sheep cannot protect itself.
嗱冇高了人保護妖囊中嘅死了了。
If the shepherd is not there to protect the sheep, then the sheep will all die.
大別講耶和華是我嘅牧者，
But David said, "The Lord is my shepherd.
我雖然經過死命幽谷，
Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no
因為
evil,
你及我同在，
because you are with me."
同在就是你保護我。
It means that you protected me.
每一擺 after Sunday worship 嘅 service 以後，
After worship service,
加上我係見門口及你 shake hand 嚇 ，welcome。
I usually go out of here and stand by the door and shake your hands and
什麼意思啊
welcome you.
？Welcome back again，OK，come back again。
Welcome and come back again.
即係冇唔對啦嘛。
There's nothing wrong there.
但是互信慢慢，我唔知你有一個觀念講，牧師懶轉做禮拜燈嘅主人。
It's like we have this wrong concept that the pastor is the owner of the church.
牧師生劇拜拜，see you next Sunday。
It's like the host saying to the guests, "Bye bye, see you next
大
Sunday."
家出去咯，大家出去
So
咯。
as everybody depart from this place,
牧師冇走吧？
the pastor is left behind.
牧師話騎禮拜燈噃，
Maybe the pastor lives there.
點解我騎禮拜燈？
In the past, yes, I lived here,
現在我冇騎禮拜
but I
燈。
don't live here anymore.
但是慢慢那個感覺，唔係是牧師嘅禮拜燈，連上帝都係禮拜燈。
But most of the time, we have this wrong concept. Not only is the pastor living in the church, but God is living in the church.
耶穌嘅禮拜燈。
Jesus is here in this church.
耶穌講拜拜，see you next Sunday。
It's like Jesus saying to us, "Bye bye, see you next
所以
Sunday."
拜過嚟，Hi Jesus，I'm here。
So next Sunday, we come here and say, "Hi, Jesus, I'm here."
拜一到拜六，耶穌嘅禮拜燈，呢啲世界裡面。
It's like from Monday to Saturday, Jesus is here in the church and you're out there in the world.
所以你世界發生嘅大事，耶穌唔制啊。跟住
So it's like-
耶穌嘅禮拜燈啊。
It's like the things that are happening in the world, Jesus had no concern on because he's left behind in the church.
No。
But that is a wrong
耶
concept.
和華是我嘅牧者，
The Lord is my
我
shepherd.
雖然經過死命幽谷，
Even though I walk through the shadow of valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil,
你及我同在。
because you are with me.
上帝及你同在，耶穌及你同在。
The Lord is with you.
然後你撒急出去，
He will depart from this
撒
place
急
with
經過
you,
人生嘅困難、人生嘅門對。
and He will go through difficulties of
你
your
唔
life
是哋
with
禮
you.
拜等你到嚟啦。
He's not just waiting here in the church for you.
為什麼上帝一個人同在？
Why is it that God wants to be with you?
為什麼咱有敵人，咱有經過死命幽谷？
Why is it that we have to have enemies, and why do we have to go through these dark valleys?
Listen，因為咱信主以後，
Because after being a Christian,
咱的確隨面對這個屬靈嘅戰爭的 spiritual warfare，
we enter a spiritual warfare.
咱有戰罪敵人，
We have a lot of enemies.
或者 spiritual enemies。
These are spiritual enemies.
Imagine，
Just imagine this.
基基我是屬撒旦嘅，
In the past, I belonged to Satan,
現在咱哋耶穌哋撒旦手中將咱救出嚟，
but Jesus has saved us from the hands of Satan.
所以撒旦唔敢，
So Satan
用
does
戰
not
罪
want
辦
that.
法嚟搞殘人。
And he will use a lot of methods to disturb us and to distract us.
所以基督徒啊，
So, dear
你唔
Christians,
係是 the children of God，
not only are you children of
你
God,
有另外一個身份
we have another
，we are
status.
soldier of Christ。
We are soldiers of
真係
Christ.
soldier，
Why are we soldiers?
因為需要拍戰。
Because we need to go to
所以
battle.
保羅哋個以所述第6章14、9、17
That's
節，
why Paul in Ephesians chapter 6 verses 14 to
忽然
17,
間講一段真特別嘅聖經，
he make a very special or unique
如
pronouncement
果你
here.
需要將上帝呢個軍裝當中撐起嚟。
We need to put on the full armor of God.
第14節，
Verse
你
14,
講真理是你嘅大，
put then the belt of truth around you,
公義是你嘅核心鏡，
and the righteousness will become your
這是
breastplate.
兩關嘅武器，
This is the first weapon that we have,
真理及公義。
truth and righteousness.
And then 平安嘅福音當避難橋路嘅位，喺你嘅卡頂。
And your feet fitted with the readiness that comes from the gospel of peace.
人去到這個所在，福音高到這個所在，
Wherever we go, we bring the gospel with us.
福音高這個所在，平安高到這個所
And
在。
whenever gospel is spread to a certain place, peace will be there.
所以教會哦
Dear church,
，You are the peacemaker，
you are a peacemaker.
You are not a troublemaker。
You're not supposed to be
你
troublemakers.
去嘅所在就還嘅，Think about it，what's the problem？
If you go to a place and then you are the one starting the quarrel, there's a problem.
個先得戰罪盾牌，the shield of faith。
And you pick up the shield of faith.
因為撒旦用戰罪物件嚟 攻擊咱，互咱呢度 discourage，互咱灰心起來。
And Satan, because Satan will use a lot of things to discourage us.
佢有將救恩嘅頭盔戴起來，
And we put on the helmet of salvation
而 attack 你嘅 mind，
because Satan will attack your
將
mind.
聖經上帝道轉做寶劍突出嚟。
And to put out a sword of the Spirit, which is the Word of God.
哇！即是叫做屬靈嘅冠裝。
These are what we call the spiritual armor of God.
耶和華是我嘅牧者，
The Lord is our shepherd.
當我經過困難嘅時陣，
As we went through difficulties, go
佢
through
講我及你
difficulties,
同在。
He said He will be with
佢
us.
講我用油膏了你嘅頭，
I will use oil and anoint your
叫
head.
做 refreshment，
It's called refreshment.
好咧重新會精神，重新嚟規律面對這個屬靈嘅戰
We
爭。
will be refreshed, we will be renewed, we will have the strength to face our enemies.
教會啊，
Dear church,
你嘅戰條喺度落，
where is your battlefield?
喺你嘅家嘅裏面，
It's in your family.
喺你嘅公司嘅裏
It's
面，
in your workplace.
喺你嘅同事嘅中間，
It's between you and your
喺
coworkers.
你嘅社會嘅中間。
It's in society.
耶穌講：打起你嘅十字架嚟跟隨我。
Jesus said, carry your cross and follow me.
但是你明白，
But we have to understand.
我講你嘅戰條喺你嘅厝內，
When I say your battlefield is in your family,
我
in
唔
your
是
house,
講你嘅敵人是你嘅老爸，是你嘅老母，是你阿兄，是你阿姊。
I'm not saying that your family members are your enemies.
那需要知啊，神也是咱真正嘅敵人。
We need to know who is our enemy.
如果所數第6章12節，
In Ephesians chapter 6, verse
我哋講啊
12,
真正清楚。
Paul is very clear.
For our struggle is not against the flesh and the blood, but against the ruler, against the authorities, against the power of the dark world, and against the spiritual force of evil. 那是對屬靈嘅戰爭，唔是及人拍戰
We
啊！
are not fighting or we're not waging a physical battle, but we're waging a spiritual war.
你咪有佢呢個 testimony。
I'll give you a testimony.
我認不這個姊妹，
I know of a sister.
這個姊妹是我雖行小學就三筆，
I know her from our elementary days.
我能嘅是同學
We were classmates
grade 1開始讀到 grade 6，
from grade 1 to grade 6.
呢個是我嘅厝邊。
And she was also my
兩
neighbor.
個人 BB 去學堂
We went to school together
，BB 先主。
and we came to
但
know
是
the Lord
這個
together.
姊妹嘅老爸是中國人嘅中國人嘅中國人，
But her dad was a very traditional Chinese.
是實在中國人。
She was truly Chinese.
出來伊看手是無保護嘅，唔敢講話。
The wife, her mother, cannot speak, cannot utter a single
大
word.
家見到看到這個老爸親像一個王嘅。
And whenever the child, the member of the family, the small children in the family, look at their father, it's like they're looking at a king
你唔覺得很惡嘅人咩？
because he's very fierce.
伊見到先主嘅時陣，
When his child came to know the Lord,
這個老爸也問題生氣，
the father was so angry
叫佢唔能夠為咗信耶穌。
and he prohibited her from accepting the Lord.
伊講冇必，
But she said no.
我親目看到。
And I witnessed this
伊頭一支
myself.
茶，伊頭一支茶，
He took out a rod
比這個地蕉大30倍嘅茶，很粗
and
嘅
the
茶，
rod was thicker than this mic stand.
佢拍伊，
And he used that rod to beat her up.
伊拍伊走，伊接伊規個所在接走來走
So
去，
they were
拍來
running
拍
all over the place because the father was running after the child.
拍到這個阿媽出嚟，
And he was beating her until the grandmother came out.
阿媽臨冇出嚟，唔知係拍死未
If the grandmother did not come out, she probably would have beaten her to death.
？Made the story short，
To make the long story short,
這個家族後來特嘅先祖，
in the end, the whole family became Christians,
包括這個黑惡嘅老爸，
including the father who was very fierce.
因為這個姊妹，
Because of that sister,
伊錯歸嘅先祖。
she was able to lead the whole family
阿
to the
媽
Lord.
眼講老爸老母當中係
The grandparents, the parents, all the siblings became Christians.
現在喺香港最可數。
Now, right now, she's a nurse in Hong Kong.
我只幫我同佢講話，
One time I spoke to her.
佢講上帝好我嘅十字架，就是我嘅厝內每一個人。
The Lord gave me a cross, and my cross is each member of my family.
但是將每一個人坐到主嘅裏面，
But He had already led each member of my family to the Lord.
叫上帝幫襯咱。
May the Lord help us.
你嘅敵人唔是你厝內人，
Our enemies are not members of our
是
household,
厝內人後邊屬靈嘅戰爭嘅
but
魔鬼。
rather it's a spiritual battle. It's a spiritual force that's behind each
所以就
member
係
of the
神
family.
啊，神嘅
So we
commander，
need to know who our commander
唔是你
is.
家己去拍，你拍唔贏啦。
It's not like we have to fight this battle by ourselves because we will never win.
Joshua chapter 5嘅故事噃。
If you remember the story in Joshua chapter 5,
約書亞佢面對耶利哥嘅時陣，
when Joshua was about to fight the battle of
哦，
Jericho,
佢有一個人奪一個刀起嚟，
he saw somebody took out a sword.
而問這個人：你是嚟幫陣咱，還是幫陣咱嘅敵人
He said, "Are you an enemy or a friend or here to help us?"
？No no 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 no，
And he said, "Neither.
我唔係嚟幫陣你，
I'm not here to help you.
我唔係幫陣你敵人，
I'm not here to help your enemy.
我係嚟追耶和華軍隊嘅元首。
But I came here as the commander of the army of the Lord."
約書亞就 bow down before him。
That's why Joshua bowed down before him.
神啊，是你嘅元首。
Who is your commander?
The Lord is my shepherd。
The Lord is my
而
shepherd.
歌謠人是妖嘅牧者，是妖嘅元首。
The shepherd is the commander of the sheep.
你需要創啥
What do we need to do?
？Follow him。
We need to follow him.
Follow him。
We need to follow him.
呢條戰爭需要 follow him。
If we are in the battle, we need to follow our commander.
好祈禱軍隊，
Pray and follow our
快就
commander.
及你出嚟最奇妙改變嘅工作。
And see the Lord perform his miracle in your household.
我老爸先祖實在真，我老爸也是中國人，中間嘅中國人差唔
My
多。
father is also a very traditional Chinese.
我老爸先祖也唔是人嘅工作，
And for him to become a Christian, it was not a work of man.
是上帝嘅工作。
It was the work of God.
我老爸開始改變，因為我創咗這項大事。
My father started to change because of something that I did.
因為我老爸聽講，真聽過，聽講。
I heard that
聽我
my
老母
father,
講，我老母講，
I heard from my mom that my dad loves me a lot,
但是我真冇愛我老爸。
but I don't like my father.
我雖然就冇愛我老爸，
From the days of my youth, I really disliked my father
因為我喺頭殼裏面有一個真扎深嘅印象。
because I have this very deep impression in my mind
有一擺我親目看到佢拍我老母，
because I saw him
所以
beat my mom.
這個印象喺我頭殼裏面也蠻大深，
So that impression, that image was stuck in my
所以
brain.
我冇愛我老爸。
That's why I don't like my father.
我老爸，你若冇愛這個人，人係制啊咩？
If you don't like that person, will that person know?
哎呀，
Of course.
感情嘅物件是真扎奇妙嘅物件，
Emotional things is quite amazing.
你唔免講嘅啦，
You don't need to speak.
伊會知啦。
They will know.
要老爸知，我老爸咪知。
And my dad knew that I didn't like him
而家我先做嘅時陣，
until I became the Christian.
我慢慢改變咯，
I changed
因為我知啊，聖經教導咱 honor your parents，
because the Bible taught us to honor our parents.
呢是我嘅 duty，
That is my duty.
所以我 try to 改變，
So I tried to change.
但是真辛苦，慢
But
慢
it was quite difficult for me to change
跌交一擺，
until one time
我去讀神學咯，
I was in the seminary
拜
already.
六到佢出嚟嘅時陣，
Saturday I was going home.
等我行咯，
I was walking
我不
down
借
the
我
road.
不借 bus，佢講係出嚟嘅時
I
陣，
was about to get on the bus to go home.
呢個 bus station 下角有一個人去賣土豆，
There was a peanut seller, a vendor there selling peanuts by the bus.
聖靈忽然間真感動我一項真特別嘅大事，
The Holy Spirit moved me and led me in a very special way.
賣土豆俾你爸爸食。
It was urging me, the Holy Spirit was urging me to buy peanuts
因
for
為
my dad.
我另外一個印象，
Because I had another impression.
我老爸有陣愛啉酒啦，
My dad loves to drink wine or
特
beer.
別伊啉酒嘅上間鼻頭我真侪片日真侪土豆，
Whenever he was drinking, he had a lot of peanuts
所以
beside
食
him.
土豆啉酒，食土豆啉酒，
So he will consume the peanuts while drinking
所以
beer.
講你買土豆到去，
And I had this impression that I need to buy peanuts for my dad.
我受聖靈感動，
I was moved by the Spirit.
所以我實在去買，
So I bought the peanuts.
我買一個土豆我老爸食，
So I bought these peanuts for my dad.
等我結出嚟嘅時陣，
When I went home,
我講爸，
I said, Father,
我買一個物件你食，
I bought this for
等
you.
我老爸傾佢嘅時陣，
When my dad saw it,
你嗰度土豆，
he saw peanuts.
你笑啊！
He started
笑
laughing.
啊！我頭一擺嗰度老爸笑很怪去。
It was the first time I saw my father laughing glee.
但是我看到另外一項我未嘅唔看到嘅大字。
But suddenly I noticed something that I have never noticed
等我爸爸
before.
笑嘅時陣，
When he laughed,
頭整浪中無吹氣，
he had no more teeth.
個咧盡能記啊！
He had only 2 teeth left.
我老爸笑啊，嗰度無吹氣咯，乜真係土豆啊，笑
He
啊
was laughing and he was saying, how can I eat these peanuts? I have no teeth.
哎呀，好似我咁嘅，哇！佢話老爸無吹氣我都唔制啊。
And it suddenly dawned on me that I didn't even know my dad had no teeth.
但是也怪，
But he was so happy.
頭一擺嗰度笑很怪。
It was the first time I saw him laugh in glee.
幾節日，
Next day,
我老母嚟啦，
my mom
呢
came.
就係 中國人嘅諗就是安尼啦。
Chinese are like that.
家講話，自己老母去講話就是安尼麻煩。
When a traditional Chinese father wants to speak to the child, he will course it through the mom.
我媽媽嚟講
And my mother came to me,
你講你老爸講，
and your dad said,
即係家先祖哦，
when my son became a Christian,
實有變啦。
there was a change.
白話我就先祖咯。
Maybe I should become a Christian.
對於你開始哦，
From that day
應該
on,
冇很簡單啦。
it wasn't that easy.
但是開始去禮拜，
He started going to church.
去10幾年禮拜，
He went to church for more than a decade.
帶我老母逐禮拜去。
And every week he would follow my mom to go to church.
結果我留佢哋變咗傳道嘅時陣，
When at his old age, he became a preacher.
有一擺我哋去香港探咩嘅時陣，
When I went to Hong Kong to visit my dad,
我老母講，
my dad said,
又是老母講，
and it was my mom who told
你
me,
講你爸爸講要俾水你咯。
my dad, when I became a preacher after many years, my mom told me that my dad wanted to be baptized.
而係你及要水你咯，
And he wanted you to baptize him.
就我本身咁我留俾水你，
So I personally was the one who baptized my dad.
這個唔是人嘅代志，
It was not something that can be achieved by man.
是上帝嘅工作
It。was the work of God.
Follow him，
Follow him.
讓聖靈感動你嘅時陣
When the Holy Spirit moves you,
，just follow him。
just follow him.
The last，
And last
又
one,
話是咱嘅牧者，
the Lord is our shepherd.
而唔係是攻擊咱、restore 咱、protect 咱。He
No one-
had a promise for us。
Not only does he provide for us, does he restores us and protects us, he also makes promises to us.
呢個第6節。
Let's look at verse 6.
我一生一世得到有恩惠主愛得着我，我徛喺耶和華殿中得到永遠。
Surely your goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever.
什麼叫做恩惠主愛？
What do we mean when we say goodness and love or mercy?
有人講啊，真真趣味。
Somebody made this very
你
interesting
講耶
remark.
和華是牧者，
The Lord is the shepherd.
咱是羊。
We are the sheep.
恩惠主愛就是人隻羔羊嘅狗，跟住羔羊叫牧羊狗啊。
And the goodness and mercies are the sheepdog helping the shepherd.
有陣你看 movie 看安尼看嘅 situation 啊。
Sometimes if you have seen movies about it,
羔羊人喺頭前，
there's a shepherd in the front
牽住羊喺後邊。
and there's a whole flock of
但是
sheep.
有幾隻兩隻狗走嚟走去，走嚟走去。
There are dogs running around the
因為有
place.
時候嗰個羊我家己行家己路，
Because sometimes the sheep will just go its own way.
伊會狗就汪汪汪汪汪汪叫倒去倒去倒去。
And the dogs at the side will bark to
恩惠
pull
主愛
the
就
sheep back
親像
in.
兩隻 sheepdog，
So goodness and love are like these two sheepdogs that are
幫助咱
helping us.
行上帝愛行嘅路。
Helping us to stay true to the path
即
set
係
by the
喺
Lord.
聖經嘅裏面，
In this passage,
有晒真正寶貴嘅英文 promise。
there are three very important promises, valuable promises.
Number one.
The first,
以牧養咱一生。
He will shepherd us all our lives.
上帝是咱嘅羔羊人，
The Lord is our shepherd.
伊未放殺
He
咱，
will never depart from us.
咱歸世人照顧咱。
He will look after us for our whole life.
雅各特別離開世界嘅時
The
陣，
day when Jacob was about to depart from this world,
伊叫伊見仔嚟，
he called his sons
伊講了一句話。
and he said this.
伊講：關我嘅祖宗亞伯拉罕，咁我老爸以撒所屬我上帝，就是一生牧養我，直到今日嘅上帝。
May the God whom my fathers Abraham and Isaac walked faithfully, the God who has been my shepherd all my life to this day.
My shepherd of all my life to this day。
My shepherd all my life to this day.
雅各已經147歲，
During that time, Jacob was 147 years old.
147年嘅中間，
When he was
如果
147,
我哋上帝是牧養我147年，唔不離開我嘅上帝。
he proclaimed that the Lord was his shepherd for 147 years and never had the Lord forsaken him.
當最後所特別離開世界定十字架嘅時陣，
When Jesus was about to die, when he was there, about to be nailed on the cross,
約翰13章第1節。
in John chapter 13, verse
而
1,
仔啊，家己要離開世界到別嘅所在，注意看咪？而聽家己聽世界屬家己嘅人，就聽到伊交對。
it was before the hour before he was about to leave the world, go to the Father, having loved his own who were in this world, he loved them to the end.
Love them to the end。
He loved them to the end.
上帝是安尼，聖父是安尼，聖家是安尼。
The Holy Father is like that. The Son is also like that.
所以喺呢個大使命中， 我就上及呢動制，直到世界末
That's why in
日。
the Great Commission it tells us to teach them to obey everything I've commanded you, and surely I am with you always to the very end of the age.
Very end of the age，
To the very end of the age.
唔是你離開世界，是歸 the end of the world，上帝教咱動
It's
制。
not until you depart from this world, but until the whole world is gone.
你幾歲啊？
How old are you?
你話夠幾歲啊？
How old do you want to be?
100你夠咩？
Is 100 years enough?
120你夠咩？
120 years enough?
夠150夠咩？
It's 150 years enough?
講無夠，我哋能百夠咩？
200 years?
唔通啦！
Don't ask for much.
我無吹機無頭毛無墨照光，愛幹無不思咪啫。
Will you want to live when you don't have hair, when you don't have teeth, your eyesight are failing?
To the end of the
To
age，
the end of the age.
上帝講我永遠未幫殺你，
And the Lord said, I will never depart from you.
你驚什麼講？
Why
這
do
頭
you
一
need
個
to fear? This
promise，
is the first promise.
要恩惠無離開咱，
His grace will not leave us
咱一生中間，
in our whole
唔
life.
那是無離開咱，
Not only will He not depart
將
from us,
真最恩惠、恩典念夠咱。
but He had supplied us and given us so much grace.
哎呀，我真係 Jeremiah 29 verse 11這句話。
I love Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11.
我知啊，上帝界講，我知啊，光你所懷嘅意念是屬平安嘅意念，唔是更債嘅意念，好你末後有指望。
For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you, not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future.
上帝從來冇一個歹嘅意念俾害咱，
God never plans anything bad for you.
依份到你感覺歹嘅代志，
Even though you go through difficulties,
但係上帝講 no it's not，到尾是好嘅。
God will say, no, it's not bad because it'll end, the end result of it will be good.
創世記嘅 Joseph，
Joseph in the Old Testament, in Genesis,
17歲我喺人未去異
when
族，
he was 17 years old, he was sold as a slave to
第
Egypt by
異
his own
族
brothers.
頭記了創地，
He was abused by his master's
你
wife.
家個後這個 Capernaum 未記得。
He was imprisoned and he was forgotten by the cupbearer.
結果30歲佢離開 prison，
So after 30 years, when he was 30 years, he departed from the prison.
17到30，
From 17 years old to 30.
13年嘅痛苦。
For 13 years he suffered.
但是佢講，特別李老嘅順，佢講一句話，
But in his old age, he said,
佢甲佢兄弟講：嚟嚟
he
嚟
told
嚟
his
嚟，
brothers,
我知啊，定擺你俾害咱，但係上帝意思是好嘅，伊要保存真濟人嘅性命，成就今日嘅光景。
you intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many
你
lives.
記得有人嘅 intention 俾害你 ，yes，
Let's remember that people will have bad intentions towards you,
but God intend for good，
but God will intend it for good.
上帝唔會害你，
God will not harm you.
上帝會幫助你。
God will help you.
我嚟去呢邊已經26年咯，
I'm here in the Philippines for 26 years
而且
already.
26年嘅中間，
So in these 26 years,
是我侍奉嘅中間。
in my service in this
我
past
拄到
26
一
years,
關我實在無愛拄到嘅代志，
I met a lot of things which I wish I did not meet.
我實在想唔到，呢個代志發生喺我嘅身上嘅裏面。
And I cannot even imagine these things happening in my life.
我問上帝跟住安尼，
And I have questioned God why.
但是經過代志以後，
But after these things have passed,
我深深知啊，
in hindsight, I knew
上帝意思還是好嘅。
God intended it for good.
嗱，無安尼代志發生，今日啲咱袂安尼款嘅情況。
If these things had not happened in the past, then the things that are happening right now will not be happening.
記得
Remember,
人會當害你，
people may harm you,
但係上帝從來冇一個歹嘅意念俾害你，
but God will never make anything to harm you.
所以咱就 follow him。
That's why we need to follow Him.
上帝恩典永遠袂離開咱。
His grace will be with us forever.
而講第三個 promise，上帝
And the third
主愛
promise
冇離開你。
His love will not leave us.
即係主愛哦，英文叫做 love，佢渣渣唔是 love，渣渣叫做 merciful，而且叫做 compassionate，即叫做憐憫嘅貼。
In this translation, it's called love, but in the original text, it should be mercy or compassion.
嗱，你想看咪？
Just think about this.
什麼時陣你需要別人和你憐憫嘅貼？
When is it that you need compassion or merciful love from other people?
只有一個可能，
Only one possibility.
就是你無可愛嘅時陣。
When you are unlovable.
你可愛不？
Are you lovable?
你看咪？你隔壁嘅人看咪？
You ask the people beside you.
你看唔使，一時就誇就好，
Oh,
誇就好。
just take a look at the people beside you.
可愛噃？
Are they
講
lovable?
咩？
Just look at the person beside you. Are they lovable?
唔係，
You probably say not bad,
特拜都可愛噃。
but are they always lovable?
Sometimes，
Sometimes.
咁時呢？你問我係驚，我係教可愛噃。
If you ask me, are your children lovable?
Yes，
Yes.
特拜吧。
Always?
Sometimes，
Sometimes.
咁時，咱做父母咪梗唔知。
As parents, we know.
有時你覺得你家是故意啊、怪啊，哇，聽不得了。
Sometimes when we look at our child, we see them as a gentle person, somebody who's truly lovable.
有時你不如你家氣要死噃。
But sometimes we get so angry that we want to strangle or kill our children.
咱有可愛嘅時陣，咱有無可愛嘅時陣。
There are times when we are lovable, and there are a lot of times when we are not.
And the merciful love and the compassion of God will never leave us.
But the mercy of God and the compassion of God will always be with us.
雅各離開世界嘅時陣，
As Jacob was about to leave
佢
this
講
world,
第二句話，
he went on to say,
佢講救贖我脫離一切患難，這個暑假屬乎這人嘅睡覺。
The angels who had delivered me from all harm, may he bless these boys.
雅各講我得到真最患難，
Jacob said, I have met a lot of difficulties,
感謝上帝，
but I thank the Lord
用呢個暑假嚟幫襯我。
because he sent his angels to help me.
你小看咩？
Think about it.
今日雅各慳最患難。
How come Jacob had to go through a lot of
Of
difficulties?
course，人對佢唔好啊，
Because people treated him badly.
但係雅各係還在咩？
But is he perfect?
你記得，
Think about it.
人嚟對你唔好，
If people do not treat you well,
你好省察你自己，
you have to look at yourself.
除非你是耶穌，
Unless you're Jesus,
當中是別人嘅唔對。
it can never be the fault. It can never be always the fault of somebody else.
No. We are not perfect，
We are never perfect.
所以你都有患難。
That's why we have
無
difficulties.
論是家己多好家己患難，
Sometimes our difficulties are self-inflicted.
但係感謝上帝，
We thank the Lord,
這個叫我一切脫離一切患難嘅暑假。
the Lord who has delivered me from all harm.
雅各真頑強，
Now Jacob is very clever.
雅各真夠騙，
He was very deceitful.
騙老爸，騙阿兄，騙丈人。
He deceived his father. He deceived his brother. He deceived his father-in-law.
難怪上帝可以到真最患難。
That's why that's why the Lord have him met so much
但
difficulties.
是雅各有一樣物件真特別，
There's something about Jacob that was very special.
佢唔不離開上帝，
He never departed from the Lord.
佢總是緊緊掠着上帝。
He always grabbed hold. He took a firm grasp of the Lord and never let go.
所以雅各 follow him。
That's why we should be like him. We should follow him.
你唔喺環境嘅中間，
In the midst of our
雅
difficulties,
各唔不離開耶
in the
穌。
midst of his difficulties, he never departed from the Lord.
又話是我嘅牧者，
The Lord is our
有
shepherd.
咱真最 blessing 真最恩賜。
He blessed us with so many things.
咱嘅責任只創這樣代志
And our responsibility, our sole responsibility is to follow him.
，follow him。
Follow him.
也到第世界特別講一句話 ，Come follow me, come follow
That's why
me。
when Jesus was on earth, he always said, Come, follow me.
請問
I'm asking
你
you,
有 follow him？
have you followed Jesus?
叫主幫襯人
May the Lord help us.
，Come follow
That we should
Jesus。
come and follow
你是
Jesus.
咱嘅牧者，
Because he is our shepherd.
咱是佢嘅羊。
And we are his sheep.
你若跟第伊嘅時陣，
If you follow him,
你就經驗到 The Lord is my
then
shepherd.
we will truly experience the Lord is our shepherd.
I shall not be in want。
And we shall never be in want.
叫做幫襯人。
May the Lord
我
help
哋聽
us.
一個聖詩。